Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Doug Ford says Correctional Service Commissioner should step down or be fired after Bernardo jail transfer. Pedestrian struck and killed by tow truck in downtown Toronto, police. Evacuated residents can return home after cruise cab gas leak outside Michael Garron Hospital. Police shoot dog dead after 3 people attacked in Burlington. Man arrested after allegedly threatening 2 Toronto daycare centers. Portion of QEW closed due to flammable liquid spill. Ontario government passes bill to dissolve Peel region.
These were the headlines and now let's jump right into the details.
Police say a woman was struck and killed by a tow truck in downtown Toronto Tuesday morning. It happened in the area of Bloor Street at Mount Pleasant Road at 7:30 a.m. Toronto Paramedic Services first told Awaz News they were treating an adult female patient on scene for life-threatening injuries. In an update, Toronto police said the woman was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the vehicle remained on the scene, police said. Speaking to the reporters at the scene, Sergeant Melissa Kulik said a tow truck was traveling on the ramp to Mount Pleasant Road when they struck the pedestrian who was crossing the street. Efforts are currently underway to notify the woman's next of kin. Although there is a stop sign at the intersection, it's unclear at this time or if any charges will be laid against the driver, Kulik said. Roads in the area were closed but have since reopened. The QEW is closed in both directions between Ontario Street and Victoria Avenue in Beamsville due to spill of flammable liquid from a transport truck, the Ontario Provincial Police said on Tuesday. Police said the service roads in the area are also closed. OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt said in a video posted on Twitter that a tanker truck had spilled Class 3 goods, which are highly flammable. Specialty vehicles are on site transferring the substance from the compromised trailer to a new one. Schmidt said lanes are unlikely to reopen much before 6 p.m. and asked drivers to avoid the area, calling the incident a mess. More to come. Evacuation orders have now been lifted for residents in the city's east end after crews capped a significant gas leak at the entrance of Michael Garron Hospital's emergency department. Toronto Fire said construction crews working outside the hospital located at Coxwell and Mortimer Avenues ruptured a natural gas line at around 9:30 a.m. 10 fire crews and hazardous material team responded to the scene, pouring water on the line to disperse the gas. Toronto police shut down roads in the area and urged members of the public to steer clear of the situation. Dozens of homes in the area were evacuated, and students at nearby R.H. McGregor Elementary School were asked to shelter in place. Patients and staff were able to remain inside the hospital, but the emergency department temporarily redirected new admissions to other hospitals. The East York Civic Center was evacuated as a precaution. A command post was set up at Summon and Coxwell Avenues, and TTC buses were on site for residents displaced by the gas leak. No injuries were reported. The Ontario government has passed a bill that will dissolve the region of Peel by 2025. The legislation dubbed Bill 112 or the Hazel-McCallion Act passed its third reading at Queen's Park on Tuesday early afternoon. It will become law once it receives royal assent, which will likely occur later this week. The Hazel-McCallion Act was first proposed on May 18 and was fast-tracked through the legislature, skipping a public consultation stage that would have seen a third reading vote likely deferred to the fall session. The bill effectively carves the way for Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon to become single-tier cities, independent of regional governance. A transition board of up to 5 members will be formed to help deal with issues such as finance, governance, and shared core services. No timeline has been provided by the government so far as to when this board will be formed. The board will also oversee financial decisions of all 3 municipalities, although it is currently unclear how much power they will have to interfere in city decision making. A man who allegedly made threats against two East and Toronto daycare centers on Monday has been arrested. In news release issued Tuesday, police said officers responded to two threatening calls in the area of Queen Street East and Coxwell Avenue in the city's Leslieville neighborhood. The alleged threats, police said, were made against two nearby daycare centers. Following an investigation, 46-year-old Reen Gordon, of no fixed address, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of utter threats. Gordon is set to appear in Toronto courtroom later today. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is calling on Canada's Correctional Service Commissioner to step down, to be fired after moving serial killer Paul Bernardo to a medium security prison. The Premier's fiery remarks follow a statement from the agency's Commissioner Annie Kelly responding to public outcry in response to Bernardo's transfer, but stopping short of explaining why the move took place. The Correctional Service of Canada has ordered an additional review to ensure Bernardo's transfer was appropriate, evidence-based, and more importantly, adequately considered victims, Kelly said on Monday. These facilities are strictly guarded 24/7. Inmate movement is controlled, and we have rigorous security protocols, she said. At medium security prisons, inmates can roam around, spend less time locked up, and have more programming and employment options at the institution. Bernardo was moved from a maximum security prison at Millhaven Institution near Kingston to La Macasa Institution in Quebec last week. In the Correctional Service of Canada statement noted medium security facilities have the same perimeter controls as maximum security institution. But Ford said the crime was the most heinous crime in Canadian history, referring the murders of 14-year-old Leslie Mahaffey and 15-year-old Kristen French in the early 1990s near St. Catharines. He tortured, he raped, and murdered these 2 young girls, and the pain the family is going through again should never be seen ever in the history of Canada. The dog has been shot dead by police after 3 people were attacked in Burlington Tuesday afternoon, police say. Halton police said they responded to a call in the area of Walker's Line and Fairview Street just after 3 p.m. Officers say the dog attacked 3 adults, leaving 2 people with serious but non-life-threatening injuries and 1 with minor injuries. Officers on the scene said they tried to use non-lethal means to subdue the dog, but when that failed, they fatally shot the dog. Police did not confirm the breed of the dog or provide any additional details of the victims.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.